We are currently in Gaviota, California. We're about a half hour north of Santa Barbara and about a half hour west of San Ynez Valley, which is our local wine country, or Santa Barbara's local wine region. You may have heard of that before. Probably less than 4 miles from the ocean. So you kind of have everything. You have the mountains, you have the ocean, you have the culture of Santa Barbara, we're close to UCSB, close to a major airport. And it's just a wonderful place to be, and that's why I'm here. Yeah. We are approximately 2 hours north of LA. There's all kinds of different people here. There's folks that have retired, there's people that raise horses for a living, there's people that are farmers, second homes, families, of course. My family lives here. You know, it just draws all kinds of folks, just mostly for the location, the proximity to the things I mentioned earlier, and the weather, frankly, is beautiful. You know, it never rains. You could probably use a little rain. I've had people from other parts of the world talk, when I tell them where I'm from, they talk about this house, you know, because the 101, we're fairly close to the 101, and you can see it. You know, it looks like it's very close to the 101 because it's such a large structure. But we're actually pretty far back, as you can tell, and you can't even hear the roadway noise. But you come in through these, you know, crazy, gigantic red cedar log gates, if you will, and you drive up. You've got a guest house on your left. You swing around. You go by a 2,000 square foot barn, and then you get to the main house, which is roughly, give or take, 7,400 square feet. So as you drive in, there's a guest house. It's almost 1,000 square feet, and it's just a simple one room when you walk in. You've got a living room, kitchen, and then you go upstairs and you've got a nice sleeping loft. Great for guests that you don't want too close to you. They're just across the pasture there, so that comes in handy. And then as you come up to the main drive, you'll see a 2,000 square foot barn on your right, which is, if you've noticed, it's got dormer windows and it's completely finished. So if you wanted to turn it into a residence, you could. You could even put a second floor in easily. Right now, it's just an empty barn that they use for entertaining. You know, they have all kinds of events. There's a huge lawn out here. We're on 360 acres, so there's no shortage of room, but it's a great venue to host parties. So you walk in the main door, which again is access through the rear. When you walk in the home, the first thing you see is this beautiful carved log that looks like a tree is growing out of the floor, and it really is the wow factor of the house, and it centers the house. It is the center point of the house, and then again you have, you know, your left wing and your right wing, which balance each other out. But it's a beautiful structure that looks like a tree is going out of the ground. And you see dual staircases going up the stairs, and the whole house is really equally balanced and very symmetrical on purpose. And to your left, you'll have a kitchen, a very large kitchen, dining area, garage. To your right, you'll have a study, what we call the yoga room, which is a 2-story sort of multi-purpose room. You could do anything you want with it, I suppose. And the main room, if you were to keep walking straight to the front door, you enter the great room, and there's a beautiful view, double-sided river rock fireplace, and a study on the other side of that. Upstairs, you'll have a master suite and another guest bedroom with an ensuite. And then there's also a caretaker's suite, which is accessed from the exterior of the home. And it is made of western red cedar logs, as you can probably tell. And just the construction is insane. If you look closely at the logs and sort of the finish, I mean, you couldn't even stick a piece of paper in between the logs. I mean, it's amazing how this thing was put together. And I would say there is no other level of this quality of construction in terms of its ability to withstand the elements. And the house is primarily constructed of red cedar, farmed out of British Columbia. The floors that we're standing on, at least on the first level, are Idaho blue quartz, which is probably the harder than a diamond, actually. So if you drop something on this floor, the floor is definitely going to win. And then the upstairs floor is made of recycled Douglas fir from an old bridge in Canada. So there, you know, as you look around the house, you'll see, you know, the cabinetry in the kitchen that's also recycled Douglas fir. And so everything is obviously nature-oriented, sustainable. In fact, they have a whole, if you're familiar with Canada and their reforestation program, you know, they're the company that built this home, which, by the way, the owner of this home is the founder of Pioneer Log Homes of British Columbia, which is the premier luxury log home builder in the world. They build all over the world. They built homes much bigger than this. They built a home the size of a Walmart in Colorado. I mean, epic homes. The house faces east. It's got a wonderful solar orientation facing east, and you've got these large overhangs that keep the home warm in the winter and cool in the summer. The front door is actually in the back of the house, and it's under a carport. And in snow climate, that would be where you'd park your cars. They've turned it into a nice patio and barbecue area. So directly from the main entrance to the house, you'll see a door. It looks very curious. It is an entrance to a wine cellar or a wine cave. The wine cellar was built for entertaining. This whole home is really built to entertain and have friends and family. A lot of the rooms that are very large, so you can gather with family and friends. The wine cellar was clearly built with that in mind in terms of just another great gathering place. And there's several tables in there, and just the whole look of the place is right out of a movie. It's really quite something. Nobody likes or dislikes log homes. They either love them or they don't. And there is a big population of people out there that love log homes. And if they see this and they love it and they want it, they're probably going to want the furniture too. And I'm sure that the owners would be more than happy to negotiate it into a contract. Again, the owner of the home owns Pioneer Log Homes in British Columbia, and so they have more than the ability to create wonderful pieces of large wooden furniture, and that they've done. As you walk to the south end of the house, you'll see a two-story, what we call the yoga room, and it could be used for anything. Originally, the homeowners had an idea to put an indoor-outdoor pool in that room, and it would actually start in that room and then flow underneath the back side of the house, and then you'd have an outdoor pool area as well. And as they got into construction, they made some different design choices, and they decided not to put the pool in. But that would have been something, I think. That's the one thing I think the property is missing is a pool. So we're sitting on 360 acres, and the main house is approximately 7,400 square feet. And it's made out of red cedar logs, and they go through a fairly laborious and lengthy process of cutting the tree down, and these are hand-hewn logs. It's a labor-intensive process, and then they let the logs age a little bit and dry out because there's some natural shrinkage, as you probably know. They ship all the logs to the home site, and then they assemble it on site. Basically, it's been assembled loosely, in this case up in British Columbia, and then they disassemble it and they ship all the logs to the home site. Here we are in Gaviota, California, and then they assemble it. So it's quite an operation, and the company has sold homes in other parts of the world where the owner has spent millions of dollars just to ship the logs over. So I mean, this is a very significant operation. Inexpensive. Even though the home looks like it's been here for hundreds of years, it was built in 2006. In fact, the company gives it's kind of a joke, they give a 100-year lifetime warranty, but it's not transferable, so yeah. We're located on 360 acres. The main house that we're sitting in now is 7,400 square feet. The guest house, the barn, at the top of the mountain, which we'll see in a moment, we have a 300 square foot cowboy cabin, we call it. It's really just a bunkhouse, but it's pretty cool because it's totally off the grid. And you can look down the back side of the mountain. Las Cruces Ranch is 20,000 acres, undeveloped. At night, there's no light pollution, it's just stars, it's beautiful. The real essence of living here, I mean, the beauty of this place is just unmatched. Again, I'm gonna repeat myself, but the mountains, the ocean, the farms, we are surrounded by just nature, and yet we're only, 30 minutes from Santa Barbara and 2 hours from LA. If you want to purchase this beautiful home in beautiful Gaviota, California, the price is $10.9 million.